I followed a funeral that made no sound. No crying, no chanting, no footsteps. And when it ended, I realized something was terribly wrong, because the person in the coffin was me. I didn't plan to come back. No one ever does. But the city had a way of breaking you slowly, quietly, until you had nowhere left to go. I lost my job first, then my apartment. Then, whatever it was that made me feel like I belonged anywhere. So I came back to the village, the same place I had spent my childhood trying to escape. A small, quiet village surrounded by endless rice fields. And silence. Too much silence. Nothing ever changes there. Or at least, that's what I used to believe. My mother didn't ask many questions when I arrived. She just looked at me. Longer than usual. Like she was trying to see something behind my face. Something I couldn't see myself. "You shouldn't have come back," she said quietly. Not angry, not surprised, just certain. I laughed it off, told her I just needed time, a break, somewhere quiet. She didn't respond, just turned away, and lit incense at the family altar. The smoke rose slowly into the air, twisting, like it didn't want to go up. That night, I couldn't sleep. The house felt different, smaller, heavier, like something was pressing down on it. At exactly midnight, the dogs started barking. Not one, all of them, from every corner of the village. It wasn't normal barking. It was frantic, panicked, like they were warning something, or begging something to stay away. Then, all at once, they stopped. Complete silence. So sudden it felt like the world itself had been cut off. I sat up in bed, listening, waiting. And then, I heard it. Footsteps, outside my window. Slow, dragging, not like someone walking, more like something being pulled. I got up, carefully, quietly, and moved toward the window. But just as I reached for the curtain, a hand pressed against the glass. I froze. It wasn't knocking, it wasn't scratching, it was just resting there. Pale, too pale, and still. I couldn't breathe, and then it slowly slid down, leaving a faint trail, like condensation. When I finally pulled the curtain aside, there was nothing there, just darkness, and my reflection. But something about my reflection felt wrong. I stepped back, closed the curtain, and told myself it was just stress, just exhaustion, just my mind trying to make sense of everything. I didn't sleep after that. The next morning, I asked my mother about it. She didn't answer right away. She just kept preparing breakfast, slow, deliberate. Then she said, "Don't look outside after midnight." That was it. No explanation, no follow-up, just a rule. Later that day, I went into the village. Everything looked the same dirt paths, the same low houses, the same old people sitting outside, watching. They all looked at me, not with curiosity, not with welcome, but with something else. Recognition. Like they already knew something I didn't. I stopped by an old neighbor's house, an elderly man who used to give me candy when I was a kid. He stared at me for a long time, then shook his head slowly. "You came back," he muttered. "Yeah," I said. "Just for a while." He didn't smile. "They always come back," he said. "Who?" But he didn't answer, just leaned closer and whispered, "If you hear them, don't follow." He looked around first, like he was afraid the air itself might be listening. Then he leaned closer. So close I could smell the bitterness of old tea on his breath. "This didn't start recently," he whispered. "There was a man, years ago." He heard them too. I felt my stomach tighten. He said it was just a dream. But one night, he followed. The wind picked up slightly. They found him the next morning, outside his house, standing, still, eyes open, mouth slightly smiling. But he wasn't breathing. A chill ran through me. They buried him that same day. But that night, the funeral walked again. My chest tightened. And the coffin, he paused, was empty. Silence. Then he looked straight at me. If they let you see them, that means he didn't finish. But he didn't need to. That evening, the air felt heavier than before. The sky darkened too quickly. The wind stopped. Even the insects went quiet. And then, the dog started barking again, exactly at midnight. This time, I was ready. I sat by the window, waiting, listening. The barking grew louder, closer, more desperate. And then, again, it stopped. Silence. And then I heard it. Knock, pause, knock, pause, knock. Slow, measured, unnatural. I couldn't help it. I looked outside. At first, there was nothing. Then, figures, emerging from the fog, one by one, dressed in white, walking slowly, in a straight line, a funeral procession. But something was wrong. No one was speaking. No one was breathing. They moved, like they were being pulled. And at the center was a coffin, carried by 4 figures. I leaned closer, and realized they had no faces, just smooth, blank skin. My heart started racing. I should have stepped back. But I didn't, because one of them turned and beckoned. Come. I don't remember opening the door, but I remember walking, following them. Something felt wrong, more wrong than everything before. My chest tightened. No, I shouldn't be here. My feet slowed. And then, Minh. I froze. It was my mother. I turned. She stood behind me, barefoot, reaching out. Come back, she said. Hope surged through me. I stepped back. But something felt off. She didn't blink, didn't breathe. I looked down. Her feet weren't touching the ground. Cold rushed through me. This wasn't her. I turned back and followed the funeral. The village disappeared behind us. The road changed until we reached the old cemetery. The procession stopped. The coffin was lowered, and the knocking came from inside. Knock, knock, knock. My body went numb. The lid slowly opened, and inside, a body. Still, pale, wearing my clothes, my face, myself. This isn't real. A figure leaned closer, its face shifted, rotting, smiling. You came. So now, you stay. Hands grabbed me, cold, pulling me closer. No! And the Minh! Everything snapped. I was on the ground, outside my house, my mother shaking me. What did you do? She whispered. I followed them. She closed her eyes. They're not funerals. They're taking what? She hesitated. People who were already chosen. That night, I didn't sleep. Days passed, but nothing felt right. My reflection moved late. Something stood outside my door. And sometimes, my feet didn't touch the ground. That night, I didn't sleep. I just lay there, listening, waiting. At some point, I must have closed my eyes, because when I opened them, it was morning. Everything looked normal. Too normal. I sat up slowly. Something felt wrong. Then I saw it. Mud on the floor, leading to my bed. I followed it, step by step, until I reached the mirror and froze. Because in the reflection, I was still lying in bed, eyes closed, not moving. Behind that body, something stood, watching, and then, my reflection, smiled before I did. And somewhere, far away, I heard it again. Knock, knock, knock. Closer. Each time. And I know. Next time, they won't ask. And when the coffin opens, it won't be empty. Because this time, I won't wake up.